going on there, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's a conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. Yes, we are at our new time. It's a little weird doing it this early, but we'll see what happens. We'll see, how it goes. With me as ever, co-piloting this thing with me is the homeboy Rob.
What's going on, Andy?
Not much. Seeing as it's only been 24 hours since we've seen each other, so.
Actually less.
Yeah, less than 24 hours.
Yeah, we ended up having a fun night yesterday. We were recording a couple episodes and had a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Had some Tommies, which I think knocked all three of us for a loop.
Yeah, it definitely started gas production.
Yeah, but that's all right.
I got a call from OPEC saying, "Hey, knock that off."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great time yesterday.
Yeah. We recording in person for the main podcast, which is always fun. I always enjoy recording as much as possible with in person as possible, and
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I just with with everything being rolled back, hopefully there'll be more in-person podcasts to come.
Oh, I certainly hope so too. Yeah, I figure it's probably. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be from now on with us. It'll probably be a mixture of remote and on location shooting, but we'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially now that we kind of have the infrastructure for doing remote stuff. And maybe even what am I trying to say? Maybe do like a combination where we could still meet in like for at least for the main podcast, we could still meet in the usual area, your dining room table, and then also do like a split screen with someone over Skype.
Yeah, that could be something that we can do. Maybe we'll figure that out at some point.
Right. Yeah, just so we could maybe streamline it a little bit, and so we don't all have to be all separate, and
Yeah, I think we could probably figure something like that out. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, what are we going to talk about today, Andy?
Oh yes, we got a bunch of stuff for you. Continuation of Buyer's Remorse, kind of chronicling the ever devolving Biden administration. I'm not rooting for the guy to fail, but it's just
he is failing. That's the thing.
He is failing. And I don't mean to sound indelicate, but yeah, he is failing. And so I guess I don't know. We'll probably. Depending on how long he lasts, I guess we'll continue to document the failures as they go on.
Well, the people surrounding him. You have his god awful press secretary who looks like she's a deer lost in the headlights.
There's a funny meme going around where it's like, you have a picture of Jen Psaki and then a transition image and then like Mark Zuckerberg, which they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
We haven't seen them in the same room yet, so
I know, right? That's all I'm saying. We haven't seen them in the same room. That and also update to what is it? The California recall of the governor. It looks like it could happen. I'm not gonna spike the ball at the 1 yard line. But the numbers are looking good. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into that a little bit down the line, but also and then also kind of talking about the the GameStop or the GameStonk uh, kind of controversy,
Peak
or
wizardry.
deep wizardry in that, deep wizardry in that. So yeah, and all that, in your favorites, sometimes 2 hours of this. I don't know. We'll see. Because we try to keep it tight, but we also allow room for. I mean, because this stream was initially started to only be an hour, but it's kind of I don't know, devolved or evolved into doing two. Depending on your perspective.
Well, and then of course, my favorite segment is the movie review,
Right.
which is we got a new theme this month. It's February.
Right, and to kind of coincide with Valentine's Day, I think last year, a couple years ago, we kind of did like the anti kind of Valentine's, or we kind of
That's right. Yeah.
this year, we're for February, we will be focusing on the leading lady of the movie, and so this month will be Tasty Slice month, and we will be beginning with uh, a movie, an older movie, by the title of Gilda, starring the incomparable Rita Hayworth.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, tell you, brother, that is a tasty slice if I ever saw one.
Well, I mean, that's the movie that really like put her on the map. I mean, she'd been pretty big in a few things, but this is the movie she's remembered for, is Gilda.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, kind of like the cinematic archaeology of this movie is, it was ultimately really popularized by the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
With like, in like that one scene where she makes her entrance and with the hair flip and just like and like in Shawshank Redemption, all the inmates are they have like their movie night and it's like they're like, oh man, it's like it's like that one scene that drives all the inmates in there crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
is Rita Hayworth's entrance.
Yeah. Yep.
And subsequently, she the character of Red gets the character of Andy Dufresne a poster for his cell. And I won't go too much into that because we might have to do a review on Shawshank Redemption sometime down the
Yeah,
line, and I don't necessarily want to spoil it right now.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it.
All right. All right. Well, let's do buyer's remorse first because
Okay.
it'll be relatively a quick one, but it's not even like I'm really criticizing. It's more of an observation, really. Um, in that you know it's pretty impressive. The mainstream media or the legacy media has been going on and on about how this is unprecedented. Joe Biden's unprecedented administration or win, and all that kind of fluffy language. Uh, but another unprecedented thing is the amount of executive orders that he's signing.
Yeah.
I think in the first week it was like 30 plus. And and it's all in a desperate attempt to erase, President Trump's legacy. But I mean, ultimately, it's just highlighting their own weakness.
Well, why would you say it that way?
Well, it's because like it's not because if they allowed things to stand, then they would all it ultimately show what has ultimately shown like their complete lack of was it their disconnect from the people. I mean, look at all like the major ones have been like the cancellation of the wall, which I think I heard like was nearly like literally like 1 mile from being completed. Just like one more mile of wall, and it would have been done.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like no, like we can't allow that. Like it's just like no, we can't allow that to continue or to be finished. And then another one is the referendum, or I don't know how you want to stop, but the stoppage of the construction of the Keystone pipeline. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
which then like torpedoed like hundreds of thousands of jobs.
well, I mean that happened on essentially the first day, and it's like
Hmm.
there's all these political cartoons that are out now with like just Joe Biden in front of like a dumpster on fire and throwing like
Right.
a
Yeah,
bunch
like
of jobs
like
in
80,000 American jobs. Like, yeah.
well, then there,
Um,
I mean, just everything that like Biden. Let's be honest, Biden is not running the country. Like he is an empty suit. That has. I mean, his brain is literally like melting away in front of our eyes. So it's once again, it's the blob of bureaucracy that is running the country again. You got your Dr. Fauci's and uh, your three-letter organizations that are running things, and say, oh well, we have to do this, and we have to have the transgender bathrooms, and oh Trump's orange man bad, and we have to get rid of this. We have to, and these executive orders are just getting way out of hand. Like it's because we have a legislature that we pay God knows how much money. It's too much to sit there and posture and do jack shit. It's they don't do anything. I couldn't tell you like
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
tell you like what legislation recently that has come to pass of any significance in the last
Right. I mean,
maybe
other than the stimulus stuff, but
outside of that, but like what law has been passed by the legislature in our lifetime that has been of any significance? Where it's like, hey, you know what? That's pretty good.
mhm. Yeah, it's just
I can't think of any.
yeah. Neither can I. I
And
literally
so,
can't.
or the fact that like, oh, hey, maybe this law or executive order that we put in, maybe that doesn't work anymore. Let's take this out. Let's do something different. Nothing. I mean, literally nothing. It's just this blob that keeps growing and growing, and it never fucking stops.
Right. Yeah. But in the also in light of that, it was weird. One thing was really weird about interesting. I found was Biden is doing all these executive orders and like basically undoing all of you know Trump's stuff. But I distinctly remember this one thing when Trump was president, and he tried because Obama had gotten Obamacare through executive order. But
Yeah,
when Trump got in and he tried to undo Obamacare, with executive order, the Supreme Court stopped him and said like, no, no, you can't do that. You have to get that undone through Congress.
yeah,
And
and then
it's just kind of like what.
yeah, it doesn't
So like
make
I
sense.
don't. So where exactly? Yeah. So where are the Republicans or whatever trying to be trying to throw up some obstruction, saying hey. So why are you letting him undo all of Trump's stuff through executive order when you wouldn't allow Trump to undo like one thing from the previous his predecessor.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Obamacare thing was rammed through unconstitutionally, and it was done under the cover of darkness too. It's it's kind of that. Well, we'll vote for it, but like we won't know what it says until we actually vote for it. Give me a fucking break. Like
Mm-hmm.
the fact all these 5,000 page bills or whatever that they're trying to pass through, it's like no, I'm sorry, that's five, and then like if you don't sign it in the next like 10 minutes, like you're fired almost. It's something ridiculous. Like who's gonna who in their right mind would vote for something like that?
No, exactly. No, I mean no sane person would.
It just, but yeah, the fact that like once again, like, I think people are, especially us on the conservative side, like, I hope you guys are paying attention to, like, who's actually saying anything, who's actually, raising up some sort of, you know,
Yeah,
you
who's
know,
raising a stink, basically.
exactly. And honestly, like, a lot of our, Republican representatives in government, in the Senate and Congress are, what are they doing? Nothing. It's because, like, oh, they're, now that, like, they're no longer in power, they're starting to, raise a stink on certain things. Like, where were you before when this stuff was, like, going on and was a problem? Now that, like, you have no power, no recourse, it's like, oh well, now it's like a chihuahua that just barks. It's just, it's worthless.
Yeah, and really it's just annoying.
And the thing is, like, the guys that, like, have been, like, championing this stuff for some time, you run them out on the railroad, and, like, it's like, oh, see ya. It's like the Simpsons episode with the real Seymour Skinner when they run him out of town on the train. It's like, see ya, we don't want it. You're raising too much of a stink. We don't want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people. Yeah, I hope people are taking notes. I hope people are paying attention because I already think I'm already starting to. Well, I'm glad to see that there are signs of pushback, at least from like from people too, because after the only like the the senators that voted to impeach Trump, like they're being ratioed hard. Their disapproval rating is like through the floor,
Yeah,
essentially. Like Liz Cheney and Mitch McConnell, like they're gonna be primary for sure.
yeah, and especially after, like, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, it's, sorry, like, it's, what are these guys are gonna, end up, we'll vote them out, hopefully.
Hmm.
um and, I think people are starting to see, like, see, even people that voted for Biden, it's like, oh crap, it's
Yeah, no, like what was it? One of the trending hashtags was Biden lied.
well, I mean, that's been true since,
Yeah,
his
it's been true
entire
since
fucking
like
life.
since back in 18 something when Biden took got into office.
Yeah,
You know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like like during the second debate when he said like yes he would ban fracking, just like I think everyone thought at that moment like oh my god that guy he just lost the election.
yeah.
He flat out on national TV on the record say I'm gonna ban fracking.
And, and the crazy thing is, I'm sure that there's people that were in that industry are like, yeah, okay, it's like, and, they probably didn't catch that, bit of news, or they
Right, because it
heard,
wasn't highlighted on the legacy media.
yeah. And it's like, oh well, no, I'm not having any new, like, we're not starting up any new fracking. It's just, we're just,
Right, yeah, it's like the little kind of playing around with words.
yeah, it's like,
You know,
oh, okay,
so that's not what I really meant.
yeah. And then they vote for him. It's like, oh wait, my job is gone.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
yo,
there's like that. There was that very heartbreaking video. That man is like, I think like he was in his cab. He was still like in his neon highlighter vest and hard hat, and he's talking about oh like, I just lost my job today. With a stroke of a pen. And
yeah.
you saw like and he kind of lashed out a little bit in frustration.
And you've seen how the gas prices have soared since he's been
Yeah,
in office.
no, like at least by last time I checked, it was
30 cents.
like at least 20 cents. The
Yeah.
price of gas has gone up at least 20 cents. You know, because like people don't like. It's like, did you guys notice how before the gas prices were kind of going down, but then now after
Mhm.
Biden got into office, they've gone up at the very least 20 cents.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, it's like, that's what do you expect?
Yeah, and now like yeah, there's not gonna be like so we're gonna be dependent on we're gonna depend, our energy needs are gonna be we're gonna be dependent on, these countries that have like no regulation, that don't have any like environmental restrictions, on those oil companies. So like, those oil companies, they can pollute or whatever, and then they're gonna use more fossil fuels to burn, to power the tankers to bring them over, and then they're gonna, what is it? And then on the trip over the ocean, they're gonna empty their oily bilges into the ocean, causing
Yep.
I mean, the Keystone Pipeline, like it was like the most environmental friendly thing you can do, because even like if you transport it on the rails, well, those trains are powered by diesel, by fossil fuel. Or
Yep.
if you're gonna transport them over highways, those trucks, they're run by diesel, fossil fuel. And also the environmental impacts. So does what if that train derails, or that truck jackknifes? It spills millions of tons of crude oil,
Yeah.
in the environment.
But hey, what do we know?
Yeah,
I
what
just
do I know?
I'm not
You know,
smart enough. It's
yeah,
above my pay grade.
yeah. I'm just a crippled Asian man.
Yeah, I'm just a plebe. It's just,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know nothing. I
I
don't know how
mean,
to I don't know how to read environmental impact studies, or I don't know how to just I don't I have no understanding of words and what they mean.
don't you know, like Joe Biden and like his group, there are social betters. They know better than us.
Right? Yeah, I mean, what was it? Kamala Harris's response to coal miners is like, oh yeah, just go dig up landmines. You can't dig for coal anymore. So why don't you transition into going and finding landmines? It's like, what? You're basically telling them to die.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't fucking Vietnam with like landmines. Like, where are we? How many landmines do we have in the United States?
I know, right? It's like, or what? Are you saying people should go to like Europe, where there are actual battlefields, like still like full of mines from World War II
From
and shit,
Yeah, exactly.
or or in Vietnam and or whatever, or Southeast Asia. So are you telling them to go to other countries for work? Jesus,
How insulting is
I
that?
know, how insulting is that? It's all, yeah. It's like, yeah. He's not involved with the Biden administration, but Andrew Cuomo. After it came out that they undercounted the number of deaths by 50%. And he callously said, "Yeah, they died. What are we gonna do? So what? It happened."
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's like, if you think if these Democratic politicians are on your side, or they're looking out for your best interest, wake the fuck up.
They're not. They're not your friend. They're your employee who's trying to fuck you.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. You're the boss, and the Democratic politicians, they're the employees going around fucking your wife.
Yeah,
Or stealing from the till, or any one of the number of bad euphemisms and analogies and metaphors that I can think of. And I'm not saying Republicans are the answer either, because there are some fucking spineless Republican politicians,
oh
and
god,
and,
yeah.
and, and corrupt ones. Uh,
Yeah.
but I
They're
mean,
they're they're the court jesters. Like they play the opposition, like that's the role, but like they're not really giving out. They quote unquote put up a good fight, but they don't actually do anything.
mhm. Yeah, and isn't it interesting that Joe Biden, prior to his election, he was saying like, oh, you can't do everything by executive orders. Only dictators do things by executive order.
Oh well, now I can do it. Well, that's different when I wasn't president, but now that I am, I
Yeah,
can
I,
do it.
I can do it all I want. It doesn't matter. Because I'm not the dictator.
Right. I'm just your social better. Like I know better than you, so I'm just I'm trying to get stuff done. Who cares about this? What is this Constitution? Uh, you know, all these bills. The Bill of Rights. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. It's something that's in the way.
Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious.
Ah, but
everyone
yeah, so I
everyone
mean,
who everyone who vote again. I know I said it before, but anyone who voted for Biden simply because he wasn't Trump, this is all your fault.
I don't have.
I have no sympathy for you whatsoever.
And if you lost your job because of that, I literally have zero sympathy for you.
Mm-hmm. None whatsoever.
Well, it's
All right.
I don't really have anything else to say other than it's just ugh, it's Biden.
I know. Just come up with I know. I wish I was able to have a sounder so it's like of Red Foreman. It's like it's like dumbass.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously the MST3K is one of my favorite things to watch, and they occasionally do these making fun of these short films, and there's these group of films from about this guy named Norman who his catchphrase is, you know that's how I feel about the Biden administration.
Mm.
It's just this sigh of just
Yeah, it's like it's dejection is what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. There
Dejection.
you go. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, but I mean, no, they have this. I mean, they might want to try to make it illegal, but they can't. I'm still gonna make fun of them regardless. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll be laughing the entire time.
Yes, sir. Best apocalypse ever, right?
Best apocalypse ever. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because I think some Christians may have lost sight of this, but the apocalypse is part of the plan.
It is.
It's part of the plan. It's not. It wasn't the first plan. This is. It's basically it's Plan B. You know, it's Plan B.
Yeah.
Because humanity wasn't able to follow Plan A, so yeah, Plan B unfortunately includes the apocalypse.
That is true.
All right, yeah, let's get into the second bit on the agenda, and that is oh yeah, the California recall.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we what is it? As of this broadcast, uh, there are they have amassed like over 1.3 million signatures.
Yeah, that's huge. Because what we
Right.
need? How many do they need? Like, it's
Well,
not.
officially they need like 1.5 million,
So we're right
but we
there.
shouldn't. No, but then still we shouldn't. Uh, what is it? Uh, be complacent in that, and we should actually, and there should actually be more than the required amount because
Of course. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
because they're gonna like unlike the election that we just had, they're gonna go through all of those signatures with a fine tooth comb,
Of course they are.
and the Hubble Space Telescope to make sure all of those signatures are valid. So
Well,
we should really shoot for 2 million, 2 million
yeah.
signatures, just to be on the safe side.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like this. But it's gaining momentum. I think
Mm-hmm.
people are tired of, and like you said, could it be worse after this guy? Sure, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I'll roll the dice,
Right.
and it's. I mean, the state is already fucked as it is.
Yeah, I know. It's
So
like hemorrhaging. It's hemorrhaging people, every single day.
yeah,
Um, and not just like individual like residents, but like businesses too. Like businesses are gone. They're out of here. I mean, other than Tesla, the last auto manufacturer, Toyota, up and left. Was it 6, 8 years ago?
yeah, I know. It's
Which should have been like the siren to go off to let everyone know, like, this is not the way. It's like kind of like the anti-Mandalorians, like, this is not the way.
yeah, yeah. Governor Patrick Bateman is like kind of killing off people left and right,
Right?
figuratively, not literally.
Figuratively, yes. But if it came out that he was like a psychotic, like a psychotic socio killer, then I'd be like, that tracks.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at like the whole. I mean, his sorry excuse of like a press conference after he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Going against his own mandates, and it's just like he's telling us this whole story. It's like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? You got caught, like,
I
and
know.
like,
Be a fucking man and own up to it. Like,
either like,
yes, I did the thing. And you know what? If he had said like, and I'm not sorry about it, I would have been like, okay, respect. At least he's being honest.
yeah, that's exactly right. Like, don't don't give me some like fake apology. Like, if you don't feel like you did anything wrong, that's fine. Okay, great. I don't think you did anything wrong either. But the problem is like you're forcing everyone else to stay home, but like, but you get to go out with all these, all the health leaders and all these people that are involved in this shit. But it's like just okay, fine. Like, go have your expensive dinner. Go out. That's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
don't keep us locked away in our caves because it's you like having that power over everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
Yeah,
tell
I
me you
mean,
really
I would have fucking
health and
respected the
safety.
shit out of him if he just said like, yeah, so what?
Exactly. I would honestly. I'd be like, okay, you got some balls. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I would actually fucking respected him if he was just like, yeah, so the fuck what?
But no, don't give me this like wishy-washy, like non-answer apology shit. That
Mm.
just that's the thing that fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I got there. What I should have done is I should have turned back around and got into my car and went home. It's like,
And I made a mistake, but no, you knew exactly what you were doing. Don't give me this
right.
like don't give me this thing. It's like I was thinking about it, and I was like I went against my better judgment. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Right.
You didn't give two fucks about anything. It just
Yeah,
so
but
if you have the opportunity, you're tired of Gavin Newsom, sign that fucking petition. You know, get in contact with your way to like get those signatures there.
just go to Recall Gavin 2020,
Yeah,
and then you can go and download a petition, fill it out. I think there's room for
was it
five or six signatures. Fill it out and then just send it to the address that it says on the. There's also an instruction video on the website, so it tells you how to do everything. So
yeah,
get her done.
pretty straightforward stuff too. It's not
Mm-hmm.
very hard at all.
Yeah, get her done. Um,
Well, keep
yeah.
pushing,
So,
folks. Keep pushing. Use what rights that we have left available to us.
yeah, seriously. Um, yeah. I've been trying to keep track of supposed like potential candidates that would come up because there are some people who are already like getting on the ball and starting like having an unofficial campaign like to
Yeah,
replace them, and there's two people I know for sure, and then one person I wish would run. Um, the two that I know that are actually campaigning. one of them is a businessman. He's Indian American, and he has some pretty good ideas. To be honest, I forget what his name is. Um, but yeah, really good ideas like tax credit for children to have children.
Right.
Getting rid of sales tax in California, that'd be amazing if that were possible.
Oh God, the sales tax is ridiculous
I
out here.
know, Jesus. Yeah, because it's just so stupid too. Because they can't bake it into the price that they put on the shelves. They always
Right.
have to add it at the end
Right.
because of some
Isn't it
such
good?
thing.
Isn't it like up to like almost like 10% now?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's insane.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, and it's just it's like okay, we have the sales tax, but like, what is it going towards? Like, what benefit of it is of mine from me paying into this thing?
Didn't you know it's going? It's going to some bureaucrat's pocket.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, I mean
Um,
that's not on paper. It's supposedly going to some program or whatever. But you know
yeah,
where
I
it's
know kickbacks on kickbacks. I get. I mean, kind of reference it again, but the Shawshank Redemption. The warden comes up with this program to supposedly uh, inmates gain like job skills to get so that when they leave the prison they could like get into the workforce and blah 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 blah. But it's all just a money scam because
yeah.
he's able to put bids in for for contracts at a much uh, lower number because he doesn't have to pay his workers because they're prisoners.
Right.
And so
It's
like
just
he's able to
crazy.
underbid. He's able to underbid every other contractor in the state, and and that's how he makes his money because then all of the contractors would come to him with pies, um, and I can't take this project, so you can take it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Crazy stuff, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just really quickly, the person I wish would run for governor is Larry Elder.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He is one of the most brilliant minds that's out there today. That's kind of like a kind of a public face. He's obviously he's very politically smart,
Mm-hmm.
but like he's just a brilliant man. He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
you know, I,
I mean,
I
and he's the one who red pilled Dave Rubin.
yeah, I mean, because Dave Rubin's pretty much he's kind of gone nearly the opposite direction that he was in.
Yeah, no, and it's great because like you see the red pilling of Dave Rubin and and kudos to him
Real
for
time.
leaving that video up. And he even said he even like he recalled the anecdote of when he filmed that episode. Um, and like his producers in the control booth saying, "Oh yeah, we could edit that part out." It's like, no, 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 leave it in. Um,
That's in well, credit to him on doing that. It's like because normally it's like when you get owned like that, it's like oh well, yeah, I can't show that, and you can
right.
just double down and you keep doing what you're doing. But
Mhm.
you see in real time where it's like he's scrambling like oh shit, he's
Yeah, like
right.
he literally just said the word systemic racism and like didn't have any like proof or didn't have anything else to back it up. Just it's like one of those magic words where lefties say systemic racism and everyone just shuts. It's supposed to just like shut up and just take everything what they're saying as
Well,
gospel. But then
yeah,
Larry Elder is the first one to like push back against them. It's like okay, point it out to me. Tell me where the systemic racism is. And then Dave Rubin was completely befuddled. It's like, oh well, prison, the black prison population or whatever, But then even then, Elder had a response for him. So
yeah. Well, it's kind of like that scene in Inception, like where Cobb is testing the girl, and it's like
Ariadne,
yeah, yeah, and it's like how did we get here? And she's like, oh well, oh and it's like she realized like, oh fuck, I don't know how we got here, and it's that's kind of like what the systemic racism and all those words is like you feel so sure of yourself that it's actually happening, but then when someone points out to you, it's a smoke and mirrors, and it's like, oh
Mm.
well, oh, it's not real.
Right. It's not a
I
thing.
don't know.
I know. It's like what is it? It's that Mean Girls meme where it's like it's just like the girl's like, oh, that's so fetch. It's like, stop trying to make fetch a thing. So it's like, stop
Yeah,
trying to make systemic racism a thing.
exactly.
uh, okay. Yeah. Just really quickly then. Let's the other half of this part of the show. Is talk about the GameStop fiasco.
So the only reason this came across like my because I'm on Twitter, I'm perusing around and just kind of and you get all these like insufferable like blue check marks, like kind of prostrating, like talking like they know so much about like the world around us. Like, yeah, take it to the system and all. I was like, what the hell is going on with all this stuff and like all these like dumb memes that are popping up. And I'm like, okay, like I thought like it was just maybe like a couple people, but then it like popped up for like an entire week.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what the hell is going on with this crap? And so I guess apparently some people on like Reddit like got together and were uh trying to like manipulate like stock prices on like well, I think they're using like GameStop, and I think like there was like one or two other stocks that they were trying to manipulate as
Yeah,
well.
AMC, the company that I think either Blockbuster or the company that used to be Blockbuster or the company that bought Blockbuster, but
Yeah,
something like that.
and so they were trying to like, okay, well, we're all gonna just like you know throw all our money at these
Mm-hmm.
stocks, and we're gonna try to fuck over the brokers and Wall Street guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, like, and what's to accomplish what? Yeah, it's like, because honestly, like, I mean, I look at like the stock market, and because I mean, I loosely have some money like invested in the stock market through like my various like retirement accounts and like
Mm-hmm.
IRAs and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have like actual like liquid money that I'm pouring into the stock market, because to me
Right.
it just feels like it's it's just fake numbers. It's wizardry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess like they ended up getting to like GameStop, like their stock went. I think it like went up from like a couple of dollars per share to like it at its peak was almost like $500, which
Mm-hmm.
is honestly at that point, if I had like been part of that group, and it's like, okay, sell, sell, sell. You end up you make a shit ton of money off of that. Like even if you bought like four stocks,
Mm-hmm.
you made a lot of money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've heard it's gone. I think it's gone down to about like $150 or something right now. I don't know what its current price is on the market, but it's like yeah, I don't know what exactly they were trying to accomplish, or just saying maybe there's just more this point of like, oh well, we hold more power than these stock market guys realize, and like I don't know, like they feel like the Wall Street guys are trying to fuck them over, and they're trying to fuck them over, and it's like, what are we doing here, guys? Like it feels like it was just a play, it's pretend fighting.
Yeah. I mean, from my understanding, those, the big hedge fund guys, the Wall Street guys, they're basically betting that like companies like GameStop and the AMC, like theater chain company, would basically go under. They're
Well,
betting.
and they're
That's
right.
essentially what they're betting,
GameStop
and they took position. And they took positions to make that happen. But what it ended up happening was, all basically the unwashed masses got wind of this, and they're like, it's like, oh no, let's fuck them over. And so like individuals went and started buying into those companies, inflating their value. And then by doing so, because basically the hedge fund guys took the position that those people are going to fail, but because the stock prices kept going up, they were then put on the hook for all that money or paying out that money.
Yeah. So I mean I like I said I kind of see what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It just it's like I mean what um but at the same time like I said it's all pretend to
Yeah.
be honest. And the thing is like these companies well AMC like probably through no fault of their own
Mm-hmm.
was going to be going under because of all the pandemic stuff. I mean they
Yeah.
weren't really like a super profitable company.
Yeah.
GameStop
I
on the
mean, look at Regal Cinemas. Like Regal Cinemas already gone.
yeah. But no, like GameStop ran themselves into the ground. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they they were big back like early 2000s. They bought up all these like mom and pop game stores, and then they just proceeded to fuck everyone over. And so it's like yeah, they're on their way out. They've they screwed themselves. Like you know the Wall Street guys that are like that know like yeah this company is gonna go under but we can yeah and they're making that bet that's going to happen yeah that's a safe bet because they are going under
Mm-hmm.
they're very close to filing for bankruptcy um
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like i I just I don't I just feel like it's just uh futile attempt at like I don't know what the fuck.
Mm. Yeah. Ultimately, I think this was like just a big like finger in the eye to all the establishment and hedge fund Wall Street guys, because it's like this is the things that they've been doing then since forever. They take
Yeah,
they constantly manipulate the market. They constantly manipulate the value of stocks, and they do these and they short a lot of companies. I mean, the whole
no,
like
that
like
is true.
the whole 2008 recession thing, that the housing market bubble. Uh, yeah, that was them, and now
Yeah,
like
right.
because again, the unwashed masses, the plebs, decided to throw a monkey wrench into that system. They're like, they immediately begin to panic. And it's like, oh no, you can't. It's like you can't do that. Only we can do that. I
Where
mean, the Washington Post put out an article titled "The Real Heroes of the GameStop thing was the hedge fund Wall Street guys."
oh yeah, see okay, yeah, and here's where I think like where stuff starts to get really weird though is
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if you know the stock app like Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so pretty much it's like it's a way for you to uh, you know play in the stock market without having to like have like a stock broker per se. Like so
Right.
you
They
kind of
basically, yeah, they basically cut out the middleman of,
bingo. But the Robinhood was getting I don't know if they were getting like it's kind of the the whole like social media like blackout stuff with like people being censored and stuff.
Mhm.
But the Robinhood app was starting to I don't know if it was under pressure from the powers that be, but like they were saying like you can no longer buy any more stock in this company, and they were stopping people from buying into the GameStop stock.
Mhm.
So that feels a little bit nefarious.
No, no,
One
yeah, because they could have easily, shift the blame to like the government. Like, they say, oh, the SEC told us to shut it down, but
right.
but then like they didn't, and then they said like, oh, and it wasn't because like we didn't have the money to cover all those trillions of dollars of payouts. Like, no, 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 that wasn't the problem either.
You're right.
So it's like, so it wasn't the government, and it wasn't that you didn't have enough, cash on hand to, pay out all those people who might have, uh, dumped all their stocks to, pull out of it. And supposedly no one was in your ear, and also like yeah, no one supposedly was in your ear from any of those companies or the hedge funds or whatever. No one was in their ear saying that they had to shut it down. So it's like, then why? Like I could grant that all three of those could be possibilities, but only one of them is true.
Yeah. Um. So and then plus like when you have guys like Bernie Sanders like praising stuff like this, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that much of what he says is good either. So I don't know. I feel like I said, I think this is just a grand display of wizardry on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would not disagree with you on that. 'Cause, I mean, because yeah, because like what like if if you can't explain something to someone within 30 seconds, then it's BS.
Yeah,
And that's why I think that crypto is another wizardry thing. Because
yeah,
they said like, oh, it's like this yeah, because there was like another thing with the whole like Dogecoin or whatever, another like cryptocurrency where
yep. I
that
remember.
was starting to become inflated, but then like I think the government came and like shut it down.
Yep.
And then and it's like the huge selling point of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was that, oh, it's deregulated, it's decentralized, but it's like, but if the government can tell you to shut it down, is it really decentralized? Is it really decoupled from like the system? I mean, shoot, if the power grid went down, you wouldn't be able to even access your Bitcoin wallet.
Well, and that there was that famous story of the guy who had like $220 million worth of like Bitcoin, but he
Hmm.
couldn't remember his fucking password, and so his thing was gonna like
Right, or
expire.
yeah, or that, or the or another guy. He was the only one that had the password, and he ended up dying.
Yep.
And like yeah, and if and let's say like the power didn't go down, but let's say the internet went down. Like, how do you get your money, or how do you get your crypto? How do you keep your crypto?
Exactly. It's worthless.
It's worthless. So it's like, don't tell me this, don't sell me a bag of beans about how oh yeah, cryptocurrency is so safe, it's deregulated, it's completely can't be fudged with by the government or whatever. It's like, here's one real world example where they did, like, the government did step in and interfere, and then here and then I just gave you two hypothetical situations where if the power grid went down or the internet went down, and you'd be hosed.
Yeah. Oh, hey Andy, I have a bottle cap. It's worth $50. You want my bottle cap like money?
Right.
I mean that to me that's about it's about worth as much as like Bitcoin or whatever. It's just like come on, really?
Yeah. Yeah, but again, what do I know? I'm just a guy who critically thinks about things all day long.
I keep hearing like talking about like investing more in like precious metals and stuff like that. I think that actually is the way to go.
No, of course, yeah. Always invest in like physical assets.
Yeah,
Don't do all like this intellectual property bullshit, or this like non physical things to never invest in. That's why even oil is still a good thing to invest in.
right. Yeah, but honestly, I don't really have like is a ton of expertise in that, but like it felt like it was kind of like a story that I think because honestly there was both sides of that aisle were just up in arms over like the whole situation, and
Hmm.
everyone was being as insufferable as possible.
Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. There was like the court. Well, specifically Cortez, who was calling out all the shadiness behind it, and then Ted Cruz agreed with her, and he's like, and then she was like, "Oh, not you, motherfucker! You try to get me killed." And it's like, again, like you guys agreed on something, and you could have used that to move forward and bring real unity in the country. but no, but it's like because it's someone that I'm fairly certain AOC was told like, oh, don't never work with Cruz or never
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's like what if Cruz agrees with you, then immediately attack him for something.
Well, apparently now there's some story with like AOC where she's like saying like, "Oh, I was sexually assaulted by somebody," and who knows who the fuck that is. Like, I guarantee it was nobody.
Mm,
It's just like
yeah.
another fake story for her to like garner more attention.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, fine, then who is the person?
Yeah.
Name the
Name the
name.
names.
Is it some other congressman? Is it some senator? Is it Biden? Did he sniff your hair too long?
Right. I know.
What is it?
But I mean, being that it's Biden, it's probably true.
uh, but like I said, name the names. Okay, if it happened, it happened. Like I'm, and even though I don't like you, it's true. I'll back you up.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, name the names and don't be like, oh, like it'll hurt. Like by not naming the names, you're allowing that person to get away with it.
Well, she can't name a name because there are no names because
Well,
it
yeah,
doesn't happen.
but yeah, that's kind of like yeah. I was like thinking about it. It's, that's this idiocy of like this whole like Me Too stuff or the cancel culture where it's like yeah I was harassed or sexually molested or raped or whatever. It's like okay by who? It's like oh I can't tell you.
It's my truth to tell.
Right? Yeah.
I will tell it.
Yeah, it's just like and by not saying not even naming the person and you're just letting the person get away with it. And maybe it's not the person, right? Maybe it's a false allegation, but then like that's what supposedly what the purpose of the legal system was is to ascertain the truth.
Right.
And then and if that person is guilty of sin, then yeah, it should be easy to prove that fact. And then we can all be against this asshole.
Exactly. Bingo.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I got about to say about that.
Same.
So,
Same here.
all right. Okay. Well, let's. Interestingly enough, we're doing really good on time.
No, like we're speeding through this. Like I think we're coming to the end almost.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, yeah. The only thing we have left is the movie review, and so.
Oh, awesome. Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. So.
This is a very economical Tuesday.
Yeah. It's yeah. It's very efficient. Very
Yeah.
efficient. All right. Let's get into the movie review. I will give movie review for Gilda. For this month's theme of Tasty Slice.
Oh yes.
All right, and I'll give you guys the synopsis. Okay, Johnny Farrell is a small-time American gambler, newly arrived in Buenos Aires, Argentina. When he is caught cheating in a game of blackjack, Farrell manages to talk his way into a job with the casino's owner, powerful Balin Munson. The two form an uneasy partnership based off their mutual lack of scruples until Munson introduces Farrell to his beautiful new wife, Gilda, who just happens to be Farrell's ex-lover.
Well, first of all, I'm really glad that you chose this movie. Like this was not even on like my radar at all.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie was better than I could have imagined it to have been. Just Rita Hayworth and Glenn Ford together had such great chemistry together, obviously on screen. Well, they also had a 40-year love affair too, which started in Gilda. So a lot of that sexual tension that we feel during the performance, yeah, that's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, they it kind of has like it has a little bit of obviously it's a noir film. It's kind of like there's definitely that love triangle going on between Munson, uh, Farrell, and Gilda,
Hmm.
and but there's also this like it's like this love hate relationship that's going on between all of them. They
Hmm.
don't none of them trust each other, but
Right.
they also like need each other too, like to make
Right.
things
Yeah.
happen.
It's definitely a love triangle. Um, and even though both Johnny and Gilda, they're constantly professing how much they hate each other. Just you know,
Reverse
hate.
hate love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's reverse hate. It's like they're operating on like the just a different side of the same coin. Love and hate. Um,
The because well, this is the film that really made Rita Hayworth very famous. I
mhm.
mean, she had done stuff before, she's done stuff afterwards, but this is the film that she's known for, Gilda.
Right.
And her so the dance numbers, like obviously she was a very skilled dancer, as you can see from some of those numbers. Woo, yeah.
Mhm.
um, but the sad thing was that Columbia Pictures, who owned the rights to her.
Right. Well, yeah,
Um,
she signed a contract. Blah 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 blah.
yeah, which it was kind of they. She wanted to be able to uh, gain some, get singing lessons so that she could do the singing numbers too. For like because she wanted to have that confidence, and because she actually is a good singer. The song "Put the Blame on Mame." She actually did sing that song.
Mhm.
The other song, however, was dubbed over, and uh, which to be honest, they did actually a pretty damn good job because I didn't notice that it was dubbed.
Yeah, neither did I.
Um, but the Columbia Pictures like, no, we don't have time because we got to film all these films and we don't want to like waste time and just no, we're not going to do it. And she was uh, after this movie, she was called to do a lot of USO tours because of her bombshell status, and she felt very like nervous and like kind of ashamed to do like the singing and dancing stuff for the troops because she couldn't really do it.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a shame because I think like had they just let her do like today this would never happen
Right.
because a lot of
No, yeah.
actors is
In
like they
today,
go to
in today's studio system, like, yeah, they would pour millions of dollars in. I mean, that one nerd guy, that one nerd Indian guy, he got cast to do a Marvel film, and the studio, paid a personal trainer like probably like $1 million to get him into shape,
yeah.
and he did, and he looks great. I mean, he looks fantastic. Uh, yeah, so it's like the studio system has come a long way. Or before when they're like, oh no, that's not it's not a good investment, so we're not going to do it. As opposed to today, where it's like, yeah, let's get this Indian guy ripped for his Marvel movie, or let's get the best shooting instructor in the world to teach Keanu Reeves how to look like he knows what he's doing with in John Wick.
Exactly, and that is so. Like I said, I think it's a shame that that happened, and unfortunately, like Rita Hayworth was treated really terribly by Columbia Pictures throughout her
Mhm.
entire career. She had like a lot of she had a lot of problems too. Like obviously she was married like some like 5 times.
Mhm.
She was one of her marriages. She was married to like a married man, and all through this happening, she was fucking Glenn Ford, and it was just kind of it was a it really was a huge mess. Like her life was kind of a mess, and
Mhm.
I don't know if that was necessarily because of just like her time in Hollywood or whatever, but like she unfortunately had like a lot of problems.
Mhm.
Um, and but man, like this movie was just a really I'm it's a very like it moves pretty quickly. It's not it does not drag at all. But I like I said I really love this film. It's good. And Glenn Ford, like he's a really good actor. Like this is
Yeah, yeah. This is the second one of his movies that we saw because the first one was the original 310 to Yuma, where he plays the outlaw Ben Wade. And even in then, he was a very he had this uh, presence on
oh
screen.
yeah, 100%. I'd like to
And
see
yeah,
more
and
of his movies.
what was that?
I'd like to see more of his movies.
Yeah, and it was just the same here in Gilda, and he played this part very well. Um, and yeah, and yeah, the chemistry on screen was very palpable. Um, you can tell like
So one,
him and Rita Hayworth must have got again they sure did get along, but I'm sure they got along real great behind the scenes
oh,
while shooting.
they were having fun. Like they
Yeah,
yeah, like they looked like they were. Uh, yes, like the tension was there, but like it wasn't like oh these two like hate each other. Like, but like they made their chemistry together was really good. Um, the the one thing that I was kind of curious about, and I think we've talked about this a little bit uh, off the air, but at the at the end, because there was the talk of like that Gilda was kind of like she was a whore pretty much, like she was fucking everybody, and at the end, because the the great Uncle Pio, the bathroom attendant who knew everything,
hmm
he was saying that's like, yeah, she actually wasn't doing any of that. Like, sure, it looked that way, but none of that was actually happening.
yeah.
And my thinking was that she was actually maybe like a double agent, and that she was working against, trying to get Munson like arrested. That was my kind of like my theory.
Right,
And
because
then because
eventually it was revealed that Munson had made like this backdoor deal with some Germans to get like some of their intellectual property out of the country, and so he would he bought it, he essentially owned it, and he would basically hold on to it for them until like the certain German parties would be able to come back and reclaim them.
yeah,
But Munson, being the shrewd businessman that he was, he realized what he was sitting on, and he he basically decided not to give back the patents,
yep,
uh, which then put a target on his head, and and then which leads him to murder one of the German representatives and then fake his death.
right. Yeah, and
Um,
but I feel like that Rita Hayworth was, she was also kind of like working in cahoots with either like the Argentinian detective, or like some sort of like she was doing something to try to get like Munson's like cartel, broken up.
mhm.
Uh, and so that was kind of like how I understood it. Like, it wasn't necessarily spelled out.
Right.
Fact at the end, like Farrell, like when he was given that information, he realized that he had fucked up, and like he treated her terribly.
Mhm.
And I think like obviously they end up coming to like a realization that they both need each other and they need to get out of Argentina,
Mhm.
and just kind of restart everything. Um, so like I said, I think it's a this is a really good movie. A lot of tension, a lot of kind of like shady dealings, trying to figure out what's going on, and obviously you have this like kind of like love affair that's happening at the same time.
Right.
This is kind of like in a way it's kind of like a spy movie.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Anything else
yeah,
that like?
I think my favorite character in the movie was Uncle Pio.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Let's see.
Because like
He
they
was
had like
great.
that one like him and Johnny Farrell. They had like exchange where he was basically Uncle P was kind of waxing poetic and like kind of philosophizing,
Yeah.
and and it's like but it was like he was spot on though. He was giving like he was in a weird way. He was kind of like the father figure to Johnny, um, and
He
he
was
was like,
he was the smartest man in the room.
yeah, he's the smartest man in the room. Even though he had like the lowest position, he was the smartest man in the room.
Yeah, yeah. So Uncle Pio is probably my favorite character too. Um, the yeah, it was just what was there was another scene too that I really enjoyed. The other thing that I was thinking about too is that thinking about like since we're kind of focusing on Rita Hayworth
Mm-hmm.
today, the this movie kind of felt like a kind of like uh, it was analogous to her relationship with Columbia Pictures
Mm-hmm.
because she was always trying to like get out of that contract that she signed, but like
Right.
everything like they kept like bringing her back. She
Mm-hmm.
was trapped,
Yeah.
and you feel like you feel her frustration because she is trapped in this movie and all she wants to do is get the fuck out of that trap that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
She ran away and like she was with somebody else, but it turned out that that was one of Farrell's spies trying to get her back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The dude, that was like that must have been a long con because
Well, the
I don't suspect that it was like it was a quick kind of romance. It's
no, I think it was probably like a few months at least.
yeah, or like at the very least a year,
Yeah,
at the very least. But yeah, that was a long con, and then like as soon as like, it was funny because like she brought him, Farrell's agent brought her back to the hotel where like she's supposedly known for entertaining men. And then but then it still didn't click for her. It's like, oh yeah, the Centura Hotel,
I've heard
and
it's a
then
really good one.
was it
Yeah, and the guy Tom, he was saying like, "Oh yeah, I've heard this is a really good hotel. Is that a problem?" No,
right? Yeah, and then like she goes, and then they go up, and then boom, Johnny's waiting for them, and
and it's like,
then
"Oh shit."
yeah, and then he gives Tom a look, and then he immediately smile disappears, walks right out.
It's like, and yeah, it's just kind of like that was kind of like the breaking point for Gilda.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what she did, like she couldn't get away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was oh man, that last dance number she did. Wow, that was in that black dress that she was wearing.
Oh, the gloves. Ooh.
God, yes.
I'm not to be lewd, but I got a semi.
Yeah, as Jeremy Donovan's character in Sakari would say, it's like getting a boner.
Yeah.
I definitely see like why like this she was the bombshell that she was.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually like the funny thing was obviously like there's the famous the poster and stuff like from Shawshank Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently when they were doing the Operation Crossroads like nuclear test, they were paying homage to Rita Hayworth and like putting her picture on the nuclear bombs, which she was not happy about at all. But um, yeah, like they had like the name Gil, her nickname, her movie character's name Gilda on there.
Uh-huh.
They have like her picture, so it's on them, and it's just like wow. And so I mean, it was just kind of like the troops wanted to pay homage to Rita Hayworth, but she was none too happy about it.
Mm.
Well, she was kind of from what I reading up about her, she was a lifelong Democrat, which doesn't surprise me. Um, but like she was it? Oh well, she unfortunately didn't live all that long.
Mm-hmm.
She died in '87. When she was 68, she died of Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of obviously that's a very rough way to go.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, she had a lot of like she was married to Orson Welles for a time. She
Mm-hmm.
was married to some what is it, Prince Ali Khan from he was some sheik from the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she, like I said, she was. Those were like the two really famous guys that she was married to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she married to three other people. Actually, like Orson Welles like treated her like shit, which is it's, I mean that's it's Orson Welles was kind of like he's kind of like Marlon Brando in that sense, where like he was kind of he was a very, despite being a portly guy, he was
Mm-hmm.
very popular with the ladies, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah. He
uh,
was a lovable walrus.
yeah. He was yeah, um, but yeah, no, it was just a she had a very interesting career. Like I said, I'm trying to think of this is actually probably the first movie I've really like seen her in. I
Mm-hmm.
might I'm not necessarily a huge fan of musicals and like dance numbers, but if
Mm-hmm.
she's in another movie kind of like this, I would love to see it. Um, like the one that I think would be good is Orson Welles' The Lady from Shanghai.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I saw that.
she's in, which I will definitely take a look at because I heard that's a really good movie. I think
Mm.
that's where like her and Orson Welles got hooked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because yeah, that lady from Shanghai. That was before Gilda.
That was after Gilda. That was
Oh, it was
40.
after Gilda.
Yeah. Like I said, I think let me hold on. Let me take a look at that real quick because it was blah, 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 blah. Orson Welles. Oh, actually, wow. Like so, no. Rita Hayworth married Orson Welles in 1943 during their run on the Mercury Wonder Show, and it was kind of like a secret wedding that nobody really knew about.
Right.
Um, they had a daughter together who was born in 1944, but she died also at a young age. She died and she was 59 years old. She died in 2004, and actually they divorced in 1947. So it must have been like either probably right after the Lady from Shanghai
Mm.
debuted. They divorced in November of 1947. And The Lady from Shanghai, when did that come out? I'm sorry, I'm pulling that up real quick. The Lady from Shanghai came out in no, well it came out in uh December of 47. So it was, yeah, so they're probably like it was probably they got divorced during the at the end of filming it, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I heard that Lady from Shanghai is really good. So I haven't seen it yet. So maybe that'll be another. I might watch that this week or something.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Rita Hayworth. She's a very complicated and interesting woman. Um, definitely got treated very badly. But man, what a looker!
Mm-hmm.
Definitely if I was alive during that time, that would probably be the my celebrity crush.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Even in my photographic work, I got really into those old like golden age Hollywood headshots, and
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some really great actresses like from that time. Like Ingrid Bergman is really very beautiful. Um, you know, Katharine Hepburn was very beautiful as well.
yeah. Well, yeah. One of the inspirations for my work was Rita Hayworth, and
Oh, I mean, she's the prototypical like sexy bombshell. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I mean, yeah, like the picture as the wallpaper on my phone is like a friend of my friend who I asked to shoot with. Yeah, it's like that. Like I specifically told her, like for her to do her when doing her hair and makeup. I was like, think Rita Hayworth.
that's the background on your phone. That's like kind
Yeah,
of like a Rita Hayworth esque style that she was going for.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I told my friends like, yeah, when she was coming up with her hair design and makeup, it's like think Rita Hayworth.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great photo too.
Yeah. All right. I don't got anything else to
I
say
don't have
about
anything
this
else
one.
to say on Gilda, other than go watch it. Like it's really really good. Um, Rita Hayworth is amazing. Glenn Ford is great in this movie. I can't wait to watch more Glenn Ford movies because he's a really great actor.
Mm.
The other guys that are in this are not necessarily like I don't really recognize the names too much,
No,
but
yeah, not me neither.
everyone it felt very well cast. I liked all the characters.
Hmm.
I thought they were everything was well cast. It was well shot. It's a quick paced movie. It's only 110 minutes. So yeah, do yourself a favor. Watch Gilda.
Yep, absolutely.
Which why don't you know what I realized that when we were talking about the Sheridan trilogy, we never gave our star reviews on that.
Oh no, we didn't.
But
But
we
I mean, safe to say, I think we thought very highly of it. So
oh yeah, oh of course we're not saying
yeah,
like oh, well this is a
I
two-star
know.
movie.
Like, yeah, it's like, oh man, it's so good. But yeah, I give it a 1 star.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it wasn't one of those things.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think yeah, so I think it was I think it was more of yeah, I think that episode is more of like a discussion about the trilogy as opposed to like a straight up like review.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
then I won't worry about it.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that. Like, it's like, oh, well, like because if we really hated it, like, I mean, we could do an episode where we just like talk shit about the movies that we hate. But I think
Yeah, I think that would be
I think watching it, you can get a sense that we all appreciated the trilogy. So
yeah. But what's your rating for Gilda?
um, for me, this is a solid 4. It's a solid 4 with the like potentially bumping it to 4.25.
Yeah, we're in agreement. I was gonna give this a four as well.
Mm.
Like I said, I had never seen a Rita Hayworth film, but this movie, wow! I mean, it really blew my socks off. I never seen it before. I'll definitely watch it again. It's definitely worth it. Um, and like I said, it's a tightly paced movie. Um, and just the chemistry between her and Glenn Ford is just it's you can feel it. Like it's great.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's our review for Gilda. Both Robert and I give this a 4, with me possibly giving an edge, bumping it up to by a quarter of a point. Would definitely recommend this. Yeah, I mean, just like Robert, I mean, I was only familiar with Rita Hayworth and her hotness. Being just because being a photographer, I to do because when I was in school, I really got into like those old golden age Hollywood headshots, and
Yeah.
doing the research, I was like, man, she's hot. And then also, I mean, which is to be putting it very mildly. And then yeah, and then I kind of like on YouTube. There's actually videos of her and like Fred Astaire just like tearing it up, and it's like wow, she's like she's a triple threat.
She can do it all. Like
Yeah, she can do it all.
she's one of those like top billing like leading stars. She can do musicals. She can do dance numbers. She can do drama. She could probably do comedy. I would imagine like because there's a lot of
Mm,
comedic elements in Gilda too, where like some of her lines is like that's funny. It's
yeah,
um
yeah, I
you know
would not
she
be surprised. Yeah, like yeah, I have to go through her filmography, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a few comedies in there.
let me look. Let's take a look at her filmography. We got some time. Let's see. Well, she's actually been a lot. Um, well, her first her first movie that wasn't there was she did one in 26. It was a short. There was another one that she was an extra in that she was not credited in. But it was In Caliente. But she was it was her original name, Rita Cancino, that she was credited as. But her first movie as Rita Hayworth was Criminals of the Air, and that was from 1937. But she's been in a lot of movies. God damn, she did a lot. And so pretty much her career ran from 1926 to 1972. Later in her career, she did she did some TV work. She was on the Carol Burnett Show. She was in Laugh-In. She did some TV movies and stuff. But I'm trying to, like I said, probably her peak was in the late 30s into the 40s. There was probably Cover Girl. It's another one, a big one of hers. The Lady from Shanghai, like we mentioned. Can't really think of any other maybe the Strawberry Blonde would be another one. And if I'm missing some that are kind of her big films, if you guys are Rita Hayworth fans, let me know, because I would definitely like to watch more of her work.
All right. Well, yeah, that's our review for Gilda. Both Robert and I already said that. All right. Well, yeah, that's the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, we were very efficient on our time today.
I know. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. Well, I think because we cut out a sizable chunk, not talking about our weekends or whatever.
True.
But we did kind of wrap it. We did kind of talk about that we did hang out the yesterday. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But
we also did meet on. We also did hang out on Saturday.
Yeah, that we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. I forgot.
Yeah,
that's when we watched Gilda.
Yeah, we watched Gilda and Sicario. Well, I kind of watched part of Gilda, and then I passed out.
Yeah.
It was a long day for me on Saturday, but I was trying to get. That doesn't matter. It was just it was a fun Saturday. And then next week we're gonna be continuing on our Tasty Slice month. We're gonna be reviewing Rebel Without a Cause with it's obviously it's starring James Dean, but the other lead is Natalie Wood. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about Rebel Without a Cause. Great movie.
All right. Well, you got something to look forward to next week. Yeah. Don't forget to check out the library of content that we have. The Circle of Jerks main podcast, Nocturnal Transmissions, of course, where we do these movie reviews. And Robert's Gaming show, Up by Up Down. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media accounts. Twitter at PodcastCOJ, as well as Letterboxd. That's where we do kind of micro blogging movie reviews. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Circle of Jerks Podcast. If you go to Instagram now, you can see I posted a very lovely picture of Rita Hayworth with the official Circle of Jerks podcast Tasty Slice certified stamp.
Nice.
So yeah, do go check that out and give us a follow. All right, and that's with all that said, we thank you again for joining us. It was a blast, and we'll do it all again next week.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, good night.